Ilia Topuria just destroyed Charles Oliveira in minutes. And while the world debates who's next, Joe Rogan has one bold idea that could shake up the UFC landscape. Forget Paddy. Forget Gaethje. Rogan says, bring back Islam Makhachev, and do it now. After Ilia Topuria's dominant first-round knockout of Charles Oliveira at UFC 317, the newly crowned dual-division champion finds himself in the middle of a rare position in MMA, complete control over who he fights next. With wins over Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway at featherweight already behind him, Topuria has now stamped his mark on the lightweight division by dismantling a future Hall of Famer in Oliveira. In the immediate aftermath of the win, 3 top names appeared cage-side as possible contenders: Arman Tsarukyan, the current #1 lightweight contender, Justin Gaethje, a former interim champion known for his brutal fight style, and Paddy Pimblett, a brash and popular English fighter who has history with Topuria. Topuria initially dismissed both Tsarukyan and Pimblett, saying they needed more wins to earn a title shot. However, in a surprising twist, he seemed to warm up to the idea of fighting Pimblett, even calling it the fight he wants the most. Despite Dana White reportedly being unhappy with their face-off in the octagon, it instantly generated huge fan interest due to their heated personal rivalry. While any of these 3 bouts will be exciting, each carries a different narrative. Tsarukyan brings legitimacy and elite wrestling credentials. Gaethje promises fireworks and legacy implications, and Pimblett offers a grudge match with massive pay-per-view appeal. The UFC now faces a decision between sporting merit and entertainment value, and Topuria is at the center of it all. If you're enjoying the video and want daily fight news and drama, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to MMA Thread, and turn on notifications. We drop 3 UFC updates every single day. Let's keep the fight talk rolling. While Ilia Topuria was soaking in the glory of his second divisional title win at UFC 317, longtime UFC commentator Joe Rogan reignited the discussion around one of the biggest matchups that never materialized earlier in the year: Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. At one point in 2025, the stars seemed to be aligning for a clash between Topuria, who had just vacated the featherweight title to pursue bigger challenges, and Islam Makhachev, the dominant lightweight champion. The narrative was rich: 2 highly technical, undefeated fighters with championship pedigrees, both looking to claim supremacy in overlapping weight divisions. It was a super fight in the making. But before the bout could be finalized, Makhachev pivoted, announcing plans to move up to welterweight in pursuit of double champ status, setting his sights on a fight with newly crowned champion Jack Della Maddalena instead. However, Rogan believes that was a missed opportunity, and one the UFC should correct immediately. Speaking during the UFC 317 broadcast, Rogan didn't hesitate to state his case. "I think Islam is a fight," he said, with Daniel Cormier agreeing instantly. "Yeah, it is." Rogan continued, calling on UFC matchmakers to press pause on Makhachev's welterweight campaign and reprioritize the lightweight division's biggest money fight. Maybe when they call him up, they say, "Is there a number we can do?" Rogan quipped, suggesting that the UFC could incentivize Makhachev to stay at 155 and face Topuria. His point is clear. While Makhachev versus Maddalena is fun, Topuria versus Makhachev is monumental. It's a fight that would unify legacies, determine the true pound-for-pound king, and give the fans a rare meeting of 2 ultra-skilled, well-rounded champions in their primes. In contrast to the uncertainty surrounding Topuria's potential opponents, most of whom lack championship experience, Makhachev is a proven title holder and widely considered one of the most dominant fighters on the planet. Rogan's proposal is more than fantasy matchmaking. It's a call to action. With Topuria's rise to superstardom and Makhachev's resume as one of the sport's most well-rounded technicians, this bout would likely headline a record-setting pay-per-view. And from a competitive standpoint, it would be a masterclass in styles. Topuria's surgical boxing and elite footwork against Makhachev's suffocating grappling and fight IQ. The message is clear. If the UFC wants to deliver a legacy-defining super fight in 2025, Rogan believes it's time to bring Islam back down and let the 2 rightful kings of the lighter divisions collide. Ask ChatGPT. Following his emphatic win over Charles Oliveira, Ilia Topuria shocked fans and media by softening his stance on a previously dismissed matchup, a grudge fight with Paddy Pimblett. This pivot marks a sharp contrast to the UFC's long-term championship planning and what analysts like Joe Rogan see as the sport's natural evolution toward elite versus elite matchups. Leading into UFC 317, Topuria had been clear. Neither number 1 contender Arman Tsarukyan nor number 8 ranked Paddy Pimblett had earned the right to challenge him. He publicly stated that both needed more wins and stronger resumes before even being considered. But that all changed when Pimblett entered the octagon post-fight in an unsanctioned face-off, an interaction that reportedly left UFC President Dana white furious behind the scenes. Despite Dana's frustration, the moment was electric. Fans erupted online, and the tension between the two fighters, dating back to their infamous altercation in London, was immediately reignited. At the post-fight press conference, Topuria didn't just acknowledge Pimblett's presence. He called him out directly, saying, "That's the fight I won the most. I'm really going to enjoy kicking his ass." Topuria's sudden interest in Pimblett isn't just about rankings. It's about unfinished business, national pride, Spain versus England, and a storyline that already sells itself. From a promotional standpoint, it's a PPV blockbuster that doesn't even need a title to draw attention. But from a sporting merit angle, it's controversial. Pimblett has yet to defeat a top 10 opponent, and his most recent wins have been criticized as lacking depth in opposition. On the other side, the UFC seems to prefer a different direction, with Arman Tsarukyan waiting in the wings and names like Justin Gaethje still hovering near the top. The promotion may want to preserve the championship lineage and pit Topuria against fighters who are further up the rankings. And then there's Joe Rogan's strong push for the Islam Makhachev Superfight, which has served as the most legitimate pound-for-pound test in either man's career. What this all creates is a clear clash between spectacle and sport. Topuria appears to be leaning into his growing star power by picking the fights that excite him and the fans most. The UFC, meanwhile, has to weigh whether to capitalize on that momentum with a money fight against Pimblett or to preserve the title's competitive integrity by moving toward a fight with Tsarukyan, Gaethje, or even Makhachev. Ultimately, it's a decision that will define what kind of champion Ilia Topuria will be, one that chases legacy or one that prioritizes the moments fans never forget. Either way, the road ahead for Topuria is packed with options, each with wildly different stakes. What do you think? Should Topuria fight Paddy Pimblett for the hype, or should the UFC go all in and book the Topuria versus Makhachev super fight?